start?
Let's start.
All right. Hey everybody, this is Sarah.
And this is Megan. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh,
so.
okay,
I
great.
think you're supposed to. Oh.
I'm supposed to speak into the
Yes.
mic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hi, welcome to It's Always the Husband podcast.
Thank you for listening, especially after my horrible debacle last week.
Sarah.
Well, because what happened is before...
You were trying to tell us if you said the worst word.
Because before, remember when I tried
Yes.
to say the gentleman was retired?
Yes.
And I said another R
Yes.
word. And so we had to edit that out. And I
Yes.
was showing Cassie, who did a fabulous job filling in as I was sick and still am recovering.
Yes.
And I was on Vicodin because I was so much in pain.
And
and
you
sick.
said
I
if you
said-
say
so if I say
something like
the fucking, and I said the
yes.
R word, but I said it instead of just saying it.
Yeah.
And I showed her this is how you would edit or just write down the time. But then never just took all that out as a practice.
No.
It recorded right after that. And so I,
I know,
never even listened.
I know.
I just sent it because by the time you guys left, I had to go edit it and put it on.
And
I was
literally were dying. Because we're pretty sure you had COVID. Even though you
think
kept...
I had the Arcturus COVID that's going around. That's awful.
Even though you kept testing negative,
negative every time, and I always
so
tested
sick.
positive every time. But the key is you have sticky eye, and it is. It's like Elmer's glue is pouring out of your eye, and then it hardens into a thick crust cover on your eye, and you have to literally take your nails and scrape it off.
No, you were dead.
Yeah. So I apologize for the first thing you heard last week is me screaming, fucking, and then the R word at Cassie.
Yeah.
Offensive.
It was offensive.
If you can forgive me.
But you couldn't hear the context of what.
No.
Why you did it. And
it was an example of what to take out, if you're stupid enough to say it instead of retired.
Say it instead of retired. Officer.
Anyway, if you can forgive me, thank you so much. If not, and you don't listen again, I guess you're not listening, and
you'll never know.
We gotta move on. But I'm terribly embarrassed, and I felt awful, and I still do.
Okay, well, just stop.
You know how I am.
Yeah.
I wallow in my own.
I know, and you're like, I ruined everything. No.
Anyway,
we knew what it was about, and it seemed like most of our listeners knew what you were trying, what you meant.
Still, the dumbest.
And you were so sick, you didn't think to go back and edit. It was too hard to edit.
I still don't like being stupid, and I'm stupid every day. One of these days, I feel like maybe you just don't be stupid, but it's so hard.
We think that all the time, but it never happens for us. We just keep being stupid.
Well, to make it better, since I was dead for 10 days. My daughter's wedding was good, but I lost my voice, so I couldn't speak to anybody, which in some ways is a treat, except my ears started hurting so bad that by the end, I couldn't even walk straight because my balance was off. And the pain in my ears and in my nose, I didn't think I'd even make it home. I just thought, I think I'm going to die. But now Rachel's married and taken care of. It's okay. But I've been sick for 12 days. I don't know what it is, but I can drive now. I can move out of my house.
Yeah, you were dead to the world.
But a package came. And we had two people. The Chinster, I think it's Chin Lee, gave us very
Chinster
cock bookmarks. They're pack bookmarks, and they're perfect for reading. And I've been reading a lot because that's all you can do when you lay in your deathbed. I could read.
You did.
Even though your eyes are pouring out Elmer's glue, whatever that is with the horribleness of this. I don't know what it is, or if that's some sort of horrible movie of outbreak where I don't know. But it's terrible, but I could read, and I read a lot, and so I used my cock bookmark.
I am so happy.
I know, so I love it. And Stacey Davis gave us quite
a
joyful package of You Got a Boys to Men coffee cup. I'll put some
Can I show it on our YouTube?
And other wine tumblers and treats and dog and cat and kitty treats that I have for goddamn Randy.
How's Randy's leg? I didn't
Good.
see him.
He finally could go outside again.
Okay.
It's been raining for like a day and a half, so he came back in right away, but he's pretty much good as new. He had his little scratch on his face finally healed up too.
Good.
But thank you, Stacy. She sent and then lovely lotions and a bookmark again, and beautiful items. And the kindest note, it just made my day. It made me feel a lot better.
You needed it.
I needed it desperately.
You had a rough week.
And all of my own foolery, much of it. I don't know where I got this thing, but I did go to Colorado, so I think the Coloradans gave it to me.
Those assholes.
Well, anytime you go in an airplane, they're so filthy, full of diarrhea. I don't know.
That was it.
My husband and I both went to Colorado at the same day, at the same time, on 2 different planes. Have you ever done that with your husband?
No.
We left at the same airport at the same time on 2 different planes. Because I used my Sun Country points and he used his Southwest points so that we didn't have to pay. Because we didn't have enough for both of us.
Yeah.
I said, how many couples just leave at the same time on different flights and arrive at the same airport?
That was, nice at least for planning purposes.
It did help out at least. But yeah, Rachel's wedding went great. I'll put pictures up. She's waiting for her the photographer version of the pictures are a lot better than mine.
Yeah.
And
they're on their
and then
honeymoon.
Patreons have a little bit. They're on their first day of their honeymoon. They're at Disney World right now. And she's been sending me pictures.
And how is your labia?
Oh, I heard
healing?
I heard I got it cut
in the mill.
The mill at the wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good mill too. The water was really clean.
And it was so hot that day.
Yeah. Oh, it was hot. Mm-hmm. It healed real well because it kept the water really, really clean.
That was before we leaked all the chemicals from Roundup into every water.
Well, everyone's full of Roundup. We can't help it.
Mm-mm.
We're all full of Roundup.
No.
And I think we have new Patreons, but they may have just re-upped because their names are familiar. But Marcy Gray, thank you so much.
Oh, Marcy, thank
Filberto.
You. Yes, Leah Filberto.
Welcome and thank you.
Oh, we appreciate you.
Yes.
And your money. Thanks a lot.
And your cash.
We like it.
We'll do the Facebook funnies because the glitter will lead into some facts.
Okay.
And you might not enjoy mine, so I'm sorry, Megan. Other people that are like me may.
Okay.
All right. I had 3 because I'm making up for a week, but this was a newer one that was just on from Erin. I didn't put her last name.
Kelly?
Yes.
Yeah.
The lady or the saying, and then this is from our Facebook group. Just people put funny shit on there. Someone's saying, I wish there was a transition glasses. Transition glasses, but it just gets darker as people are talking to you. Mm-hmm. They're like, man, I would like you're talking to a person. Their sunglasses just start off as glasses, just get darker and darker until they're totally dark. And then you can just walk away, I feel. And then Beth Polkrabek, I said her name totally wrong. She had one that I love from way back, and it's kind of like it's been like a meme, but this one is one of my favorites, and it was like me and my bestie, or like point of view, and it's like the apocalypse background, but then it's like me and my bestie, and it's the 2 guys are just laughing so hard they're like bending over and like scream laughing in the front.
Yeah.
Even though it's the apocalypse, my bestie and I are, laughing instead of running because one of us farted. It would just be us, like, dying. It just not
that would be us.
A zombie.
Yeah.
It would be Cassie,
and then we would laugh
and
at pure pants.
And then get eaten by the zombies because we would just be dying laughing.
Yes.
And not worrying about the apocalypse.
No.
Because Cassie would have
ripped a tear fart, as she calls it.
And then Cherie Bardon had her son wanting a queef haircut. The quiff. And they're kind of cute. Like Elvis
well, it's
thing.
something, yeah.
And she was wondering what a queef was.
So, my Facebook funny, and again, if you're not in our Facebook group, you search, it's always the Husband Podcast group. And we're very selective, but we let everybody in.
Yeah.
And it's just a place, we don't fucking bitch about anything, we just put disgusting, funny memes. So, our Beth, B Tits.
Oh, yeah. B Tits.
Put the TikTok of the woman.
Oh, that was hitting everything with her tits.
That hit things with her tits! Like, she doesn't have a strong bra on.
No,
and she's
not
just
a supportive bra.
It's just like a true kind
Did you ever
bra
see that
or
lady
whatever.
that was smashing like bottles with her tits?
No.
Oh.
But this lady is taking out teddy bears and stuffed animals. She throws them in the air.
Long boob.
And just, yeah, I feel like if I practiced,
yeah,
I might be able to do this. Because I've got a long boob.
Because you have a long boob?
Yeah. Now, I found out from Nut Bar last week that my daughter, so Nut Bar's daughter and my daughter are the same age, sort of, and they are besties and they're on the same dance team and whatever. So our kids live at whatever house they land at, you know. So Eloise was over at her house for a while, Cece was at ours, and Eloise was telling Auntie Cassie that she was starting to get boobs.
Oh my.
And so they were like, oh, we don't want to get boobs. We're afraid of boobs. We don't want to get boobs because you could get breast cancer. And Nat Bar told them, like, you can't be afraid of boobs. Like, you're going to get them.
Right. They're going to be
and
there.
not
they're
everyone gets
terrible,
breast cancer.
And you just deal with it.
And you have to get them checked. Yeah. And Eloise told
Nat
Bar.
You can get anus cancer too.
You can.
You get an anus.
And then you get it scoped out like me. And you get the good drugs and everything's fine. And then Eloise told Cassie, I'm afraid that my mom's hiding breast cancer. And Cassie said, what? And she said, I'm afraid she's hiding it in her long, saggy boobs.
Oh. Kids make you feel great about yourself, don't they?
Sure do.
They just make you feel good.
They sure do.
And just really confident.
They sure do.
I think if it's a long, thin boob, you could see it in there. So I think you're good.
Right. And I'm like, I have always religiously gotten my mammograms because I have giant boobs. And they're flat and saggy and that part doesn't hurt.
But not like flat boob. You have big boobs, but if they're released, you're saying?
If they're
go
released,
down flat?
They are flat. When released. Flat and long.
Did Rory, when he was a boy, use him as a road for his
car? But this...
Can you use it like as
toilet tissue? You can just... No, it doesn't go down that far. Yet. It's about mid-gun. About mid-gun. Which brings me to my glitter in the shitter.
Yeah.
Oh my god. First of all, Valeska. What the fuck?
Oh, I saw her knee. It looks
Did you
absolutely horrific.
See that?
And then they sent her home saying, you know what, don't go in your dance rehearsal, but you can dance tomorrow pretty much. And no pills. And take
no
a Tums.
No pills.
That's what they told her. Her knee literally just fell out and shattered apart, and they had to put it together. And they just said, you know what, hop around a bit, put some ice on it.
It looked
maybe like a cube.
Jaws.
To go. Like a Jaws got her. Yeah.
And they sent her home without anything.
No.
This again,
it's like
you can find in our Facebook group. Because even though we don't, like, literally we don't know each other, we know each other. So we share these things, and our poor Valeska, who I love.
Absolutely horrific.
She's my sister from another mister. I don't know what the fuck happened, but it's awful. And so she's healing.
She fell off her four-wheeler.
Yeah. Like her ATV.
Yeah, and they just shredded it.
Jesus.
Well, we had B-Tits who jumped off her four-wheeler.
I know, and her husband's
a dumbass.
Yeah, and Valeska's husband's in a wheelchair too, so it's like she's like, ha ha, he has to fucking help me for once. And I said, hell yeah. So we are sending healing vibes. Yeah. But anyway, what my long, saggy tits and my giant gunt brought me to was my glitter in the shitter. Yeah. Do you want to know what it is?
I do. Now I'm curious.
Okay. So my glitter in the shitter is my Fit On app.
Oh, you do like that.
I am obsessed.
I'm glad. It's so good.
It is super motivating to me for whatever reason. And it has it's free. Okay, and even though I, of course, got sucked into paying $24 a year, but still $24 a year is nothing. And the only reason why I paid $24 a year was because then I could hear real songs in the background instead of like elevator music in the background. So now I can hear like BB Rexa and whatever when I'm doing the workouts. But it is fantastic. I hate exercising, and I hate doing all the Fit On exercises too, but they're like 20-minute workouts.
See, that's doable.
And it's doable, and I can do an arm one day, a stomach one day, and there's a countdown clock on all of them, so you can see, oh my god, I only have 6 minutes left, like fuck, I can do this.
It seems like the old Abs of Steel and Legs of Steel used to have the countdown.
It did. You know, I mean, I would never know because I didn't even try it.
I used to do those religiously. You did? But that's when I was 130 pounds and fit, and way back in the 1800s.
Yeah. So I'm giving it a shout out. I'm really like it. I was at my mom and dad's this weekend. We were having a lake day, and my sister was like, "Hey, we should all do a quick workout before we go drink our faces off on the boat." So we all went downstairs and did a quick 20-minute arm and ab workout, and we were all sore then. Like, it was good, it was fun, and I love it. So here's to Fit On. Thanks, Fit On. I wish you would advertise with us.
No shit.
And give us a special code that we could give to all our listeners.
No, wouldn't that be something?
God damn it, Fit On. Okay. What's yours? You said it was going to lead us somewhere.
Yeah, into my fucked facts, because our crime takes place in 1992, which, again, all crimes that were ever committed, even way back.
In the years of Boys to Jesus was also
is 1992.
Crucified in 1992.
Yes, I heard.
Every crime.
He had the hair of that back.
That ever had.
Nick or whatever. The split down the middle.
Nick Carter.
Yeah. He was still a handsome man. I heard. I don't know. Because I don't go to church, but I heard. Okay, mine, you're going to tease me, but there are some people out there that are Sarahs. Mine is vampires. Oh, the look on her face. The look on her face is disgust.
Okay, well, no. Because I, too, both you and I loved the fucking Twilights.
Oh, yeah, we did go see that.
So, I'm tentatively listening.
All right, so there were 2 cases of vampires this week. One in my sick bed.
Sarah.
I read one of our book club books for October.
Yeah. Because
I've literally read them all to the end of the year now. It's called The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. Grady Hendrix. And Grady Hendrix is a favorite of a lot of people. Yes. And it was like it's like a bestseller. Mm-hmm. And it was excellent. It's not really what you think, but kind of by the title, it was amazing. It was great. Really, really good. And it says a lot about, like, moms, like, hits a mom. It's, like, about this mom who literally is just trying on her own to, like, do all this shit with her kids, and then a fucking vampire moves into town, and she has to deal with it. And it's like, what would you do if you're just, like, a fucking stay-at-home mom? And it's, like, in the 80s and 90s. And so there's all, like, 80s and 90s references and stuff, but it's great. And what happens and everything, I just read the whole thing, but then I had nothing to do. But then I slightly got better a few days ago, and I'd already seen a lot of the movies out, but I went and saw The Last Voyage of the Demeter in the theater.
That's in the theater?
It's in the theater. It just opened Friday.
What is it called?
The Last Voyage of the Demeter. So if you ever read Dracula, the book, Chapter 7 is about the Demeter, a ship that sails from Russia to London. And when it leaves Russia, 50 crates of dirt are put on the ship. And then when it arrives to London, it's completely barren and it crashes into a beach near London. And all the crew is gone except the captain is dead and tied to the wheel with a crucifix in his hand. And when people go to figure out why the hell the ship is crashed, they find the captain's log. So it's literally just the one chapter in Dracula is this captain's log. And then a big black dog runs away when they get there.
A black dog?
Yes, and takes off and they don't chase it or whatever. But clearly that ended up being Dracula leaving the ship. But really all it is a captain's log about this bitch Dracula who he can't take a plane. It's 1897. The bitch has to get to London because he literally ate everybody in Romania, I guess was the reason. And so he has to pack up his shit because he has to sleep in the dirt of his home country, I suppose. And he packs all of his dirt and shit from his house in his coffin, and he just eats everybody on the ship to London and pops off, and he's good to go. And so that little chapter they made into this movie, and like took it and made it into this movie. Which is
who's in this movie?
Nobody. But a Game of Thrones actor, and if you ever saw The Nightingale, that's an Australian kind of horror movie. It's like incredibly hard to watch, but the lead actress is in it. She's like Ainsley, I think her name is. She's a great actress, but there's practical effects, so it means the Dracula character is like really a guy like that went through 13 hours of makeup to look like Dracula instead of CGI. So that's that makes it a little more of like it's like really, instead of just a CGI thing, that going back to like where Alien was a guy in a costume, and Predator was a guy in a costume. So this guy his name is Javier Botet, and he works with Guillermo del Toro a lot, but he was in like The Conjuring and Crimson Peak, and but he's 6'7", so that's Jamie's size, but he has Marfan syndrome, so his ligaments are stretched out, so he can make like all those weird, like he can move his arms like all weird and horrifying. But I liked it. I mean, if you like horror movies and like Dracula, I thought it was great. I mean, it doesn't have great reviews, but
you just went to it by yourself?
Yeah, because I could leave the house. None of my friends don't see that.
No.
They would all say no and not answer my call.
Right.
And then I thought if I'm dying and I am going to shit myself and die, I can just leave.
Yeah.
So, but I made it. I liked it. So I thought I would give you some facts about vampires.
Okay.
Not just, as we know, I went way back to see when did this shit start.
Okay.
So I'll start with English. So the word vampire first appeared in the English language and culture in 1732. There were newspaper reports from Eastern Europe, and that's where the Zvog.
Right.
That starting around 1718, vampires were killing vampires about town, and they were exhuming bodies of people and re-killing them because people thought there were vampires around. So I realized as reading about this, there had been different vampire eras where people were in like a whole vampire chaos obsession, all the way back to Mesopotamia had vampires. Ancient Greece, ancient Rome, the Hebrews, they were mainly like witch-like characters way back then, but the vampire evil spirit thing had been around since then. And now we just make movies about them and books.
Yeah.
They would tell these tales. So first, early vampires. Now we have the vampire like me. It's very pale, cholera-like.
Yes.
And the sharp teeth, which I do have the sharp teeth. And they suck the blood. But early vampires also were like me. They were bloated. And they were ruddy, if not a purple color, because of all the drinking they did of blood. We're just ruddy due to the alcohol.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, like, the TikTok grimace Maybe he is a vampire.
He might be.
And the Count Dracula on Sesame Street is a purple
bastard.
He was
purple.
So he goes back. But then the bloated from drinking all the blood, just bloated fat asses. Also,
we relate. Okay.
And now they often said for some reason the early vampires always had the left eye open. When the right eye would close when they sleep, maybe, or blink. I don't know if they blink, but the left eye is always open. So if
they had a stroke on one side?
I think so. So if
Bell's
you see
palsy.
A bloated, ruddy asshole that has the left eye always open, vampire. Now, their hair, they didn't have the fangs back then. That kind of started with Dracula. Dracula didn't even really have the fangs. That started with the movies. But your hair would continue to grow in your nails.
Yeah. So well, that happens when you're dead, too. Yeah.
Now, this is what they thought caused the vampirism. Now, you could get bit, but also you would, if your corpse happened to just be laying in your living room, and your dog and or your cat jumped over your corpse, vampire.
Okay. So if your cat or your dog
let's say
jumped over your dead body.
Yep. And your cat or your dog jumped over you, vampire.
Yep.
Okay.
Turned into a vampire.
Yep. Now let's say you have a wound that never was treated with boiling ass water. So you stub your toe.
Unlike your labia. Okay.
Yeah, in your labia. And they didn't pour boiling ass water on it, vampire. Or in Russia, if you went against the church, vampire. And I can get that.
And
that's probably why he doesn't like the
yeah.
crucifix and such.
Right.
Now, in Albania was interesting. So they call it a dampir. A dampir.
Okay.
And it's a hybrid. So the mom is a lycanthropic creature, which is a werewolf type creature, that wears an iron mail shirt. So a shirt out of just iron,
like
a chainmail shirt. I don't know about the pants, so I think maybe it's a man werewolf that wears the chainmail top, and maybe has the wang just out.
It's a little bit like Wham.
Yes, or a Donald Duck type thing.
Yeah.
So
but where I'd want the chainmail is on the bottom, like nothing's getting in.
No, he just wears it on the
top.
Fuck
that.
And he lets the wang free.
No.
Now he's called a carcanhole. Carcanhole. Now he will pork a lugat. So
what the fuck is happening?
It's a water dwelling
in Albania.
Ghost. And when a carcanhole porks a lugat, the water dwelling ghost, you get it down here. And then that's the old Albanian expression they said they often say is the dampir knows the lugat. I don't know what they say. But lugats are invisible and can only be killed by the dampir. And it's usually their own son.
It's their dad. The lugat's the dad.
Because the lugat is
and
maybe the mom. And the carcanhole with the wang t-shirt.
Carcanhole is the dad.
Yes, the dad maybe. And they hump and have the vampire. So
then the vampire kills its mom?
That's the only way you can kill a lugat is you have to find a vampire to kill it. I don't know what the carcanhole does. But in 1819, we get our first book called Vampire by John Polidar. And he was kind of like Buffy's angel. He had some adventures, and he was like a anti-hero, like Angel. And he was very popular. So
like David Borealis?
Instead of watching David Borealis, they would go about to plays and watch this vampire, like Angel. We got Dracula in 1897. And then we now have had vampire craze for 150 years. Yeah. Now, how do you prevent being a vampire? You can bury your loved ones upside down. You can shit in their coffin.
I'm trying to save Nutbar. That's what it is.
Yes.
I'm trying to save her.
Or in Europe, you place various poppy seeds on the ground, and the vampire is too busy counting the seeds to chase you. Europe, I don't think it's gonna work. The vampires aren't gonna count poppy seeds all night.
Are they?
That is not gonna happen.
Rain Man,
I think so.
Every vampire is.
Poppy seeds! I must count. And then maybe that's where Sesame Street got the count. One poppy seed.
I'm gonna look this
up.
I feel like there's a vampire connection with.
Now, some countries, to find out which vampires are in the in the graveyard, you have to lead a virgin boy throughout. I don't know.
So now they're pedophiles
I
too?
think it's just some weird, like that pedophile group NAMBLA.
God.
They need a virgin boy to hunt vampires.
Come on.
You can fight the vampires, of course, with garlic, a crucifix, and holy water. Mirrors, because they have no soul, they don't see in the mirror. I like that. Early vampires, sunlight was not a problem. So until Dracula came along, sunlight became a problem. But in Poland in 1693, the best way to protection is if you think someone's a vampire, even if they're long dead, you dig them up, get their blood, if any is left, and bake it in bread and eat the bread. Come on. I mean, there has to be better stuff to do with your time.
Now this is Ed Gein.
No.
Like, what the fuck?
But you truly want to dismantle them. Just cut off their head, cut off all their body parts, and burn them all, and put it in some sort of a tank.
Oh.
If you find a vampire.
And then a bread. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of eating the bread.
Okay.
Or even the last one is to put a lemon in their mouth. Can also take care of this. So, if you ever come across a vampire, now you know. That's what you do.
I sure will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, my whole notes are all out of order.
For that riveting.
Yeah, so if you see the Demeter,
But then
you'll know
it went into The Lost Boys.
It did, The Lost Boys.
Which was probably my first introduction to vampire.
Jason Patrick was so cute. And what's his name was in it?
Corey Haim.
Oh, bless his heart. And
he's the one who passed it?
Yes.
Yeah, and then we're left with a dumb Corey
Feldman was in it too. Feldman.
And then the old
Jason
man.
Patrick was so cute.
And Jennifer Connelly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it her?
Yeah. Or Jamie Gertz. Which
Jamie
one
Gertz,
was it?
I think it was.
Jamie Gertz.
And then she had that brother vampire that was weird and had the long hair. He was scary. He was a little boy.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
That was a really good movie. And then...
And spoiler alert, it was the boyfriend of the mom.
God damn it! Jeez. And then that brought us to Twilight. Where the sun isn't problematic.
No, they just sparkle.
It's just glitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, at least I could go outside.
Well, let's talk about these fucking weird vampire
because
family
she,
from
in
Eastern
the show,
Europe.
she sounded like Dracula.
Yeah, she did.
Her accent.
Mm-hmm.
So we watched a show called Evil in Law that I didn't even know was a show. I just ran across it and said, hey, this might work perfectly for our month. So on Discovery
and it sure as
Plus,
shit
it
did.
sure did. Evil in Law is a show that has 2 stories, just like our Deadly Affairs that we love with Susan Lucci.
Yep.
This is season 1, episode 1. It starts right out the gate, Mama's Boy. And boy, was this a boy, a Mama's Boy. Oh, nothing's worse than a Mama's Boy.
All of these mother-in-law stories have a fucked up mother-son relationship.
Oh, it's very much a Norma.
Yeah.
So it's story 1. And we're going to meet Jelka Pesek, who has a husband named Sam, but it's Saba. It's Sam. They went to Canada. So this is set in Canada. Canada, boy, can
Canada.
They can kill the shit out of each other, just like us.
They can, too.
Not as bad as us. So we're in Vancouver, Canada, where the Peseks came from Yugoslavia, very close to Romania, because Jelka talks like Dracula the whole time. The Peseks run a garage, so mechanical fix-your-car garage, with their son Joe, and they just want Joe to have the best of everything, which is your mistake. Let him have some challenges. Don't be that snowplow kid.
Right, yeah.
That has to push everything out of the way, so your dumbass kid is handed everything, and they never have any kind of, hardship to overcome.
Yeah.
So they don't learn anything.
They don't have to problem solve. They don't have to, oh God, I know.
So this guy is just a grown-up dick. If you work at a deodorant factory, you know this type of kid who can't wash his pee-pee without his mom being there. And he's probably 32. I don't know, they were young. So in 1987... Jelka and Sam are looking at homes because they're making quite a bit of money and they want to invest in some real estate. And they go to this open house and they're looking around and they see in the corner this beautiful blonde. Now, the wig this beautiful blonde is wearing, you could tell it's a wig because it has the dull hair. And at first you're like, is it okay or is it not? But then more and more it was very much like a Barbie
Charlie's
wig.
Angels.
Yes, it was a Charlie's Angels wig.
Yeah.
It's a Ferris wig with shorter bangs.
Yeah.
But it was doll hair. Like when you brush the Barbie's hair and it just stays all frizz.
It wasn't high class.
No. It was a poor quality wig. Mm-hmm. And the thing is that Alex had dark hair. They made her a very much fairer blonde.
They did.
So anyway, Yelka hears this beautiful blonde speaking, and she's speaking her native language even. And Yelka thinks, oh my gosh, here is this gorgeous young blonde speaking my language.
Right.
I need to introduce myself to her because, boy, I'm going to get her for my son.
Yeah.
You know, she's not even thinking her son could try to meet his own person. Mm-mm. She runs into this woman and tries to get her.
She's not about to let that happen.
No.
She's going to take matters into her own hands.
So this beautiful young woman, her name is Alexandra Ignatovic. I think her last name is Ignatovic. And we see real video of her, not with Farrah Fawcett hair, but with very short, dark, Janet Wood hair.
Yeah, or like Pat Benatar.
Yes, Pat Benatar hair. She's quite lovely. She, in fact, was in the 1985 Miss Canada pageant from Burnaby, British Columbia.
Sure.
We don't know that. But she had dark hair.
Anyone from BC can maybe tell us. Yeah.
So Alex, she went by, was, I think, selling the house. She was the real estate agent. Mm-hmm. And we meet her friend Angie Bruno that we see throughout the episode. Angie describes her as, you know, just this charming girl with a great presence. So of course, she's in real estate. You really have to sell a lot to people, and you have to be likable because if you don't even like your real estate agent, you're screwed.
Right.
So in 1987, when she at the open house meets Yelka and Sam, she charms the pants off of them. And we actually see a coworker, Janet Walters, that comes into play at the end. It just says how beautiful and intelligent and stunning she was. And Yelka is telling people like, oh my goodness, you know, you're this beautiful woman. Oh my gosh. And Alex like, oh, and she's talking to them. And then they say, well, we want to buy this house. We own a garage and our son works there. He's the mechanic. And Alex is like, well, believe it or not, I actually need a brake job. And they said, bring the car to our garage and ask for Joe. So Yelka thinks, oh, she's going to come and Joe's going to knock her off her feet.
Yeah.
They're going to fall in love and I'm going to have this beautiful woman for my son. And she's the perfect match because she is Yugoslavian and she'll understand moving to Canada because that's kind of what she went through.
The immigrant experience. She's speaks
perfect.
our language.
And she's gorgeous. She's smart.
Yes.
And all that, which I guess is a good find for your son.
Yeah.
So the next scene, you see Alex going into the garage and Joe is there. And Joe, the actor Joe, he has what's called a Mo Howard from the Three Stooges haircut. So it is again like Mother Yelka said, let's just put bowl right there. I cut with bowl. I had to take the scissors and I cut with the bowl around.
She did!
Yeah. So he had the bowl here, and then he had a very much a porn stash.
But
a wispy porn stash bowl cut.
And sometimes part right down the middle with a...
Yes, because then I said at times he looked a lot like Rooster from Annie.
Yes!
Who's saying, Easy Street. Who is Tim Curry?
Easy Street.
He's Rooster from Annie.
Yes. So that's where we're gonna. That's where. Oh my God! And Bernadette Peters. Ow!
Alex was far better than Bernadette Peters.
Yeah, that's where.
But Bernadette Peters is no slouch.
No, she isn't.
Nah. But Alex, I mean, wasn't like a criminal like Bernadette Peters' Rooster character. I mean, Alex was a good person. Right. But I feel like Joe couldn't even have been Rooster because he had not 1 ounce of personality.
No.
He couldn't even be a robot.
No.
I don't even know. He was just he was a human skin. Yeah. But Alex right away likes Joe. She gets her breaks done. She calls her friends.
How she likes him,
I don't know because he just went...
Fix a car.
she went, okay, thanks. So I just drive my car in here, but yeah,
no, I don't know.
I don't know.
Mm-mm.
She called her friend and said he's so gorgeous. Now I have not seen the real Joe. I haven't.
No, I should look them up right now. Yeah.
But if she's talking about Rooster from Annie, no, he wasn't. He had a whole haircut, and when he didn't part it down the middle, like you did when you were like a 1920s man, when they parted it down the, it had that razor cut down the middle. If you were a bootlegger, Joe is described by, I think, the prosecutor or something as very, very, very shy, and he has not much experience, if any, with women. What?
We would have never guessed.
So Alex is everything he could hope for. I think she had boobs and a vagina. I think that's all he could hope for. He doesn't talk.
No.
But the next scene, it looks like they're out to dinner and speaking to each other. So I mean, and she was a smart woman. He must have had something. I don't know. But I don't think he did. It was a whirlwind romance. Within 2 weeks, Alex was telling her friends he's the one. He must have had a giant wang. I don't know. But maybe he was kind. I don't know. This was a terrible mistake. She said they both felt it, and I think they did have a lot in common. And you can't underestimate what it's like maybe to find someone who understands what you've been through.
And your culture, your language. Yeah.
Maybe that alone is just like he gets what you've been through.
Yeah.
That could make you forget a lot of faults.
Right.
But within months, they're engaged. And at this point, Yelka is just proud as punch because her son is going to marry this gorgeous, smart, beautiful daughter-in-law. And she's going to have a daughter-in-law who's gorgeous and successful and smart. And she's just seeing her as kind of a prize dog for her son. That she probably thought she could control as easy as she could control her son. And bitch was wrong. Bitch tried it, but bitch was wrong.
Yeah. It was bad.
Yeah. Now, at the actual wedding day, I haven't experienced this at all, ever. But her friend Angie said Alex pretty much was like, no, done. I'm going home. I can't do it.
I think this is a bad idea.
Yep, this is a really bad idea.
I feel bad about it.
She said something about this family is super fucked up, and I don't think I can handle it. And she said, this is just fucked. And I'm not going to go through it. This fucking sucks. I want to go home. And Angie said, well, you're just having, like, the wedding day jitters. You know, once everything settles down, it's going to be fine. And then Angie says, oh, my God, I regret my advice that day more than anything else. Well, because you don't want to say, well, let's go. You know, I mean, but maybe...
No, I feel like when I watched this scene, I feel like I had a flashback to a time when my family and my best...
Except they were telling you, let's get out of here.
Yeah, they were like, it wasn't me.
I'm going to go through that.
And then I was like, well, we already sent out the invitations.
No. I had a marriage which I was looking for.
Yeah, have your, listen to your gut instincts. What are we doing, women?
I have Rachel, I guess. That's what I have.
Yep.
But, yeah.
True.
The ceremony, though, was very beautiful and everyone seemed happy with it. But right away, the shit just got fucked. Fucked. First off, Alex notices all this just fucked weird shit. So Joe works at the family garage, so Yelka and Sam control all of his money. And the family goes to Yelka's house for dinner. Alex is sitting there. They pay him at the table, like divvy up the payments.
They paid Joe. Joe is who Alex married, right?
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah.
And then they tell him, like, spend it to here, and then put it here.
Right.
And spend it on the good coffin.
Yeah.
And the good dirt. And Alex is like, what? Like,
she's
we're
like,
gonna spend our fucking money how we want to,
bitch. This is our money. If we want to, we'll save it. If we want to, we'll spend it.
And Joe is just like, and just eating as normal because Alex realized he doesn't even think this is weird because this is how he's always been treated. Like, as a baby.
Right.
And you can see her in the scene, like, looking around like, what? What the hell? And then Yelka is at Alex and Joe's house. And Alex is like, we don't need all these groceries. And Yelka's like, no, I bring you the right groceries.
You buy the wrong.
She brought the wrong cheese.
She's like, what the fuck? This is what we eat.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
We don't need any of this stuff.
Yeah.
This is not what we buy. And Yelka's like, you buy wrong food. Wrong food. And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, no. And very, very forcefully, Yelka is inserting herself into the middle of this marriage. And she's not even trying to hide it. She's just there bossing everybody around. And Alex and Yelka start fighting constantly. So Alex, as any of us would, thinks Yelka is being incredibly bossy and intrusive, not minding her own business, trying to boss around her adult son, and her, who, like, stay out of my business, telling her everything from how to set a damn table. Well, I mean, the prince isn't coming. Why do I have to have the fork on the right side? We're eating a TV dinner. Who cares? We're going to eat in front of the TV and watch Wheel of Fortune anyway. Yeah. And then how to fold laundry. And that's when Alex is like, you're yelling at me that I'm folding my own laundry wrong? I mean, what are you talking about? You're lucky I'm even folding it. And not just keeping it on the floor. And Alex, though, of course, goes to Joe and says, can you goddamn say something to your goddamn mother about being a bitch? And Joe says, that's just how she always is. We can't ever expect her to change. Like, well, what?
Then I'm out.
Yeah. Like, what are you talking about? She's over here all the time, bossing at us and yelling at us for everything. It's fucking dumb.
Right.
And then there gets to be another problem. Yelka is a shoplifter.
This was the weirdest part.
The weirdest thing ever.
Because I was like, you do it wrong, blah, blah, blah. I do it, and I'm like, you're a fucking thief.
Robber.
Yeah.
She goes to the grocery store and takes stuff like chicken liver. Of all the things to steal from a grocery store, you're going to steal the goddamn
Look at Otto can't
thing.
even take it.
Otto just couldn't take it and just
he
walk
can't.
around. You're going to take the most foul thing there. Hello, I'm going to steal your anus cream and all suppositories. How about blood pudding and eel pie? There's monkey heart soup. I want giraffe dick pot pie.
But she's stealing things.
Where is your beef jelly?
But then
I want zebra butthole cake. I put it in my purse and I leave, not paying for it. What kind of freaking chicken livers?
Eventually,
This bitch robbed everything in
yes,
town.
and she couldn't even go anywhere anymore. She
Yeah.
couldn't go to any grocery
No,
store.
she was caught and arrested,
Yes.
and this bitch went to the slammer.
She got like banned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was in jail for a while, and things were really great.
And that was the best time of Alex's life.
Right, and she ends up getting pregnant. So they actually end up having sex while mom was away.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't when mom was there.
Right.
So Yelka gets out of the slammer and comes home and sees that Alex is pregnant. Alex gives birth to their son Brandon. And as you can imagine her being a horrible mother-in-law just to her son when he's married, imagine her being a grandma. I can't even.
No.
So there's
Horrible.
one scene where Alex is just feeding the baby, and it doesn't look like milk is in there. It looks like vodka is in the bottle. It's
Yeah.
But Yelka's like, you're doing it wrong. You know, give him gas. And she's like yelling at her, and Alex is just like, God, come on. Like, just go fuck yourself. And then, of course, Joe and Alex are starting to have this massive strain in their marriage because this bitch is out of jail, starting up her horse shittery again.
Yeah.
And Joe says, how about we go on a date night to get that old feeling back, babe? And of course, as you know, they go out on the date, and who's the babysitter? Joe has his mom babysit. Mm-hmm. If you even cared, you would get a babysitter from down the street.
Yeah, you would.
16-year-old girl with nothing to do.
Yeah.
Don't have your dumbass mom come over. So Yelka has been trying to have Alex give the baby this herbal tea.
I give him tea.
Sleep.
Like.
And Alex is like, I'm not giving a weird ass tea to my baby. He sleeps fine because it's a baby. All they do is sleep. And so Alex said absolutely not. But as you can guess, Yelka gives the baby the weird ass tea. So when Alex and Joe come home from their date seeing Lethal Weapon 3 at the movie theater, they find their baby pretty much unresponsive and almost dead in the crib. He cannot wake up. He's not responding to his mom. He is just out. And so Alex, of course, screams, grabs the baby, and runs out like, Joe, we have to take him to the hospital. He's been poisoned.
Which would be terrifying if you pick your baby up and it's just like not waking up.
No, I can't even imagine how horrifying that is.
Yeah.
They go to the hospital, and Brandon does wake up, but he was pretty much knocked on his ass with this tea. And if he would have had the wrong amount, it probably could have stopped all of his organs.
Right.
So Alex she just says, I'm done. If you don't kick your mom out of our lives and kick her to the curb and kick her in the vagina, I'm out of here. And Joe, of course, does jack shit like he's always done. Yep. He's scared of his mom. Yep. And he's a bitch. So Alex divorces his ass right away. Good for her. And
she gets out.
And Alex, because it's Canada, can get 50-50 of everything. They just split it down the middle. And of course, Yelka loses her shit. Like, goes completely nuts. And thinks Alex was a gold digger the whole time. So she just marries Joe, who's a dud, to eventually divorce him and get... Well, first of all, their house, which makes it worse that I skipped, is their house was bought. I skipped it by Yelka and Sam and was like their neighbor. So that's why Yelka could come over all the time. And as Alex was trying to decorate the house, I mean, there was a scene where Alex told Sam, who was painting her wall, and Alex went, it's too dark. Yeah. Well, it was a white wall. Yeah. Come on. She didn't say that. No. You know, like, or at least make it a dark green so it doesn't look like an idiot saying the white is too dark. But I guess Alex was kind of stubborn in how she wanted the house, and Yelka didn't like that. And then Yelka would tell Alex everything she bought was shit. Yeah. And Alex didn't like that, so that started their fighting off. But Alex wanted this house, and Yelka said, well, I paid for it, but it doesn't matter. She gave it to her son, who now Alex gets half of it. And then half of whatever Joe had from their business and his money. And Alex also wants custody of Brandon because Yelka's a psycho. Yeah. And so at the custody hearing, Alex just shreds Yelka, saying she steals everything like zebra dick pot pie out of the grocery store. She's banned. She's been to jail. She almost killed my baby with her weird herbal teas. She's a total bitch. Yeah. And my ex-husband's a bitch. And I don't want them around my son. And Alex is granted, like, custody. And Yelka and Sam actually have 0 visitation rights. They have to stay away from Brandon. Right. Because they're such psychos. So Yelka goes completely fucking nuts. And she blames Alex for everything that's gone wrong in her life at this point.
And again, this has nothing to do with the fact that she really wants to see her grandson because she fucking gave him tea and made him pass out because she didn't want to hang out with him.
All control. Yeah. Yeah. And she thinks her baby boy has been given the runaround. Yeah. And he couldn't even care because he's just like, I don't know. He lost his son and wife because he won't even say to his mom, like, hey, Mom, can you give us a weekend alone? Maybe once? What a dumbass. So
Total dumbass.
Yeah, gets half of everything, custody of the son, and lives in the house still. Although I thought she should have. Yeah. Been like, fuck this, we're selling it, and I'm moving, like, to the other side of Canada. You cunts. Right. But she didn't at first, probably because she, has to work and do all this shit. Yeah. But even weirder shit starts happening now to her. So, first thing weird, a package arrives on her doorstep. She opens it up, and it's a true crime novel.
And now most of us would be
like, oh my gosh, my friend sent me that.
Excited!
But no, she opens up the true crime novel, and passages are highlighted, such as passages about being hogtied, choked, and tortured. So Alex is disturbed and knows immediately.
She thinks, it's not my besties sending me a book club book.
Oh. No, it's my psychotic ex-mother-in-law sending me a murdering book highlighting what she wants to do to my body.
Right.
So Alex is just horrified. She goes grocery shopping. Sam and Yelka are in the grocery store, even though that bitch Yelka shouldn't have been in that Piggly Wiggly.
She got banned.
No kidding. And then Sam, the dad, looks at Alex and makes like a across his throat, like a slit gesture. And Alex was like, fuck this.
This is what we're going to do to you.
Oh my gosh, she should have said, pointed at him and said, this man is incontinent and impotent. And then screamed it over the like loudspeaker. Sam.
And also she's banned
impotent.
and she steals everything.
The ugly ass woman that sounds like Dracula is stealing right now.
Yeah.
That's what she should have done.
God.
So Alex finally gets out of that home because they're scaring the shit out of her and moves in with her mother. So one day she has her friend Angie that we've heard of and her mother, and they're like playing cards and playing a game. And the phone rings and Alex answers it. And on the phone it says, there are 3 coffins for you. 1 for you, 1 for your mother, 1 for your grandmother.
What the hell?
Hang up. And I was just like, what? She knows it's Yelka and Sam because she heard their voice.
Right.
So she calls the police, and the police are like, well, you're the only one who heard it. You could have made the whole thing up. She's like, well, my mom and my friend were right there.
I didn't.
And these dicks have been torturing me and doing weird shit all the time. And wouldn't there be call records? Like, it's 92.
I know, right?
Like, they had to check that. So Alex would call her friends and say, these dicks are going to kill me. Like, they're going to kill me. This is what's going to happen. And Angie even said, like, to her, like, what are you talking about? Calm down. That's not going to happen. They're not going to murder you. Like, that doesn't happen. That's just, come on, calm down. And, of course, now she's like, Jesus Christ. Like, another bad advice from me. Alex actually goes to a psychic. And I thought, oh, well, does she go, like, at Pee Wee Herman? And the psychic says...
Did you get excited?
Basement. Oh. The Alamo. And she says, no, I'm talking about my mother-in-law, not my bike. But the psychic says, beware of a red sports car. Tells her her life is in danger. People want to kill her, and that she needs to be careful. It's like, holy shit, come on now. Like, can't I have one good thing?
Right.
Anything good? But that is horrifyingly accurate.
Nothing was gonna, it wasn't like, and also, you're gonna get $1 million before a red Corvette
and meet a really normal man.
Yeah.
No, it was horrible.
No, everything was bad.
So a few days later, Alex is driving home from a showing or something, and a red sports car is behind her and following her. Yes. So I thought at first when I was watching, like, oh, every red sports car she sees, she's going to think is going to attack her, you know, because now she has a red sports car in the brain. But this one actually drives into her driveway. She bolts out of her car, runs into her house. A man jumps out of the car and chases her, but he trips and he drops a gun he has in his hand, and it flies across the driveway. Like, how... I just look at this psychic thing, so I don't understand how that...
But it was real, and it was a red Izod? Is that a car?
Yeah, those kind of cars that everybody wanted when I was in middle school.
Oh.
Alex actually calls 911 again. It's like, come on! These men in this red car...
Once again.
Jumped out, they had a gun, and so the police do come. And Alex is just saying, I'm going to be dead soon if someone doesn't help me. Can you please help me? So she calls a private eye, which is a good move, because he can kind of have a team surveillance everything, because police are just going to be like, oh, ma'am, calm down. So this guy, Ozzy Caban, he's like 110.
I know, why did she?
I know.
Why him? Why did she pick him for the PI?
But right away, he starts surveillancing Brandon's daycare, which is good that he did.
Right.
Some information.
Right.
And he told her, just keep the same routine, even though she's terrified. So she works at a dental office at this point. So her Janet, her friend and a coworker, rides to work with her, and they go to work as usual. The day, nothing happens out the day. And then Janet, who's telling the story, says her and Alex leave work at 4:30. That's when they leave. They're talking about whatever. They head to her car. They get in the car, and Janet said, I had my gym bag with. So maybe this is a key that we need to carry a gym bag with us and pretend to work out or try to work out. But Janet had a big-ass gym bag, so she bends down and starts shoving the gym bag down in the car where her feet are. And as she bends down, bullets rain through the car and just shoot up the car. And Janet keeps her head down, but then when it stops, she goes up and she looks at it, which is so sad because you can see how traumatized this woman still is. She was talking, like the most horrible thing you can even be through.
Yeah.
So Janet ducked and missed the shots, but she looks and sees Alex, who's slumped over, and she even she said it was in total shock.
Right.
I tried to move her and look at her, and she said she was shot in the head and she was dead. I mean, she must have just been like, what? I don't even know if you register anything at that point. Like, you must have just been in so much shock. But she looks and sees a red sports car drive away. She jumps out of the car. She runs into the dentist office again and calls the police.
Yeah, because they weren't even far.
No, they just were in the car in the parking lot.
In the parking lot, yeah.
I just can't even imagine how awful this is. And so the police come, but it's too late because Alex died instantly. But there were 30 eyewitnesses that saw this happen. And so they all said it's this red IROC car, and they say exactly what happened.
Oh, yeah, did I say Izod?
Yeah, or
IROC. Yeah. You're right. Izod is like a Gulf Sea.
Oh, well, you have Gulf.
I have a problem. Yeah.
They find out that the IROC is stolen, but for some reason they trace another car that was at Brandon's daycare this whole day, and that car belongs to this guy named Milan.
Yeah.
Nenadick.
Yes.
Nenadick. And so the Nenadicks are close family friends with Yelka and Sam. In fact, Milan and the Nenadicks were at the wedding of Alex and Joe. So the Nenadicks are good friends.
Uh-huh.
I can't even, I mean, just so awful. Mm-mm. So 10 days go by, police start following Milan around, and this dumbass bitch, Milan, meets up with Yelka at another shopping mall parking lot. Mm-hmm. And this was like, oh, I laughed. I wonder if you laughed at this part, but even though it's not funny, that just how the woman described it. So it was like this police lady. She describes that Milan gets out of his car, gets into Yelka's back seat. He's in there for like 2 minutes.
I know what you're saying now, yeah.
And the guy, the Milan looked like a poor man's George Michael from the Faith video. Did you notice? He had like George Michael's clothes on, George Michael's hair, and glasses.
I thought he had khakis on, though.
No, I thought he had,
it wasn't like
so
hot
jeans. I thought, I guess I missed it. And then the lady says Milan gets out of the back seat right away, and she goes, he had a big bulge in his shorts.
Sarah, they said that.
They did it, and then the camera goes
zoom
right onto his bulge.
They knew what they were saying, and they wanted us
and
to
she's
be like,
that bulge was not there before.
And
you know we didn't get that bulge from Yelka. But they zoomed into his crotch, into the big bulge, and it was a sideways pocket bulge, not a big front bulge.
We haven't even talked about how shitty Yelka's wig has been this whole episode.
It's like if you did
backwards
shave a Sasquatch anus hair and taped it to a bald wig.
Why?
Yeah.
Did it look so bad? And her real hair was coming out of the bottom.
Yeah, because the real hair wanted to say, you know what, I'm here and I actually do try. It's not a Sasquatch anus hair.
But no one on this production will let me be free.
No.
Yeah.
It was terrible. He couldn't have got the boner from her.
So it wasn't from her. No.
But he has this huge bulge in his front pants.
Yeah.
His front unit is bulging out.
Yep.
And the detectives follow this bitch bulge home. And he walks to his driveway. And as he's walking to his driveway, $30,000 falls out of his bulge front onto the floor, and he just keeps walking.
He kept walking
away. So the police are like, well, I guess you're going to make it that easy. And they go run up and arrest him and take the $30,000. And I think he must have still had big bulge front. He would have noticed more. He must have had more in there. And so they arrest him, and they arrest Yelka immediately, too, because they know she's the one who gave him the money, and obviously what for. They've connected the two. And Yelka acts all the fool when she's arrested, like, what is this for? Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, bitch. Police desperately try to find a connection to Sam and Joe, but there just wasn't one there. I think they were just too dumb and lazy. Who knows? But they couldn't attach it to Joe or Sam. But there were 3 men that Yelka hired. this Milan, who was the hitman, and then he had 2 more accomplices that were like watching out at the daycare probably.
And none of them could do anything right.
No, and then Yelka. So they were, I mean, it took 10 days, thankfully only, to find out. I mean, and maybe they had an idea too.
But 30 people? Oh, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, 30 people saw him, could identify him.
You're screwed.
And they all got life in prison. So I know, like, when she got to, I read something, like, when she got to 14 years, she kept whining, like, she had nothing to do with it and tried to get out. So I don't know if she got out.
I tried to look it up, but a lot of it was only written in other languages. Oh. But, it seems like she's still in there. But I also found out that there was a made-for-TV movie based on this. Oh. It came out in 1997.
Did it star my favorite Meredith Baxter Burney?
No, close.
Melissa Gilbert?
No, close. It was called The Perfect Mother.
Oh.
Now I want you to think of how Yelka looked with the dark hair.
Yeah.
And I want you to think of another cop show.
A cop show?
Yep, where there were 2
Kate
women.
Lacey?
Yes!
Oh.
So, Tyne
Daly! Did you know that Tyne Daly is the TT's sister? TT
Yes!
the Beehive? And Tim Daly, her brother.
TT's
from
sister. Tyne Daly played Yelka. But
Tyne Daly, there is no better Yelka than Tyne fucking Daly.
No, and they gave her...
Tyne Daly!
They gave her a different name.
A handsome woman, if there ever was.
And then the wife...
Oh, they gave a different name.
They all had different names.
Well, good for them.
Was Ione Skye. Remember her? Ione Skye or Ione Skye?
Yes.
Was
she like in My Own Private Idaho with Keanu or something like that?
She was in something with...
Yeah.
Who's the guy who was in everything? John Cusack?
Oh, yeah.
Was she in that? And then something with River Phoenix.
Yes, River Phoenix.
My Own Private... No.
My Own Private Idaho.
Was that?
Keanu and River Phoenix in it.
Oh, wait. Ione Skye is... She's known for Say Anything.
Oh, yes, that's what John Cusack.
And what was the one with River Phoenix? Shit, I can't remember it. Oh, he was real cute in it. Yeah.
Oh, he was so cute.
The Perfect Mother. Oh, it was called... We've watched it. A Night in the Life of Jimmy Reardon. Oh, do you remember that from when we were little?
Oh my God.
Yes. Shit. So she played the woman, and then her mother, I'm guessing this was her mom in the movie, was Dee Wallace from E.T.
Oh, jeez.
So Tyne Daly, yes. Dee Wallace and Ione Skye. Yeah. So maybe we can find it somewhere.
It has to be on YouTube.
1997, The Perfect Mother.
Oh.
So that...
What a tragic story. This poor Alex did try to get so much help too.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And she... It's
waste.
like, the most frustrating thing when you know you're like...
When she
told everyone! They're going to kill me.
To calm down.
They're going to kill me.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're like, no, they would never do that. Yeah,
well, because
people do it.
Person. Yes. Oh my God.
People fucking kill people.
It's such a sad story because it's just a lovely lady.
That's why we have a podcast.
I know. I'm sure there's a 10 million podcast.
A beauty queen of Canada.
I know. Besides being a smart, kind woman, we need
rest in peace.
I know. I hope she is.
So thank you for listening. Now, I remembered out of a pocket of memories that our sweet book club.
You forgot to say.
What would you call her? She's like our organizer. She's from the ground up. Shauna,
we would not have it if she didn't do it. She's everything.
Actually, in Ireland with her family. And she told me that she was going to be gone. And
because I wasn't at the last one, so I just
and I was like, don't worry, I'll do it. And then I,
of course,
remembered that she told me that.
We'll
so we are going to have our book club in which we read Greenwich Village by Catherine Faulkner. We're going to have that next...
Greenwich Park.
Oh, Greenwich Park. Shit, it's not Greenwich Village. What the hell? Greenwich Park, and I'm listening to it.
Oh, so you have the accents and everything?
Yes, so I have the British accents. And they're at baby classes. So we're going to have the actual podcast Zoom meeting on August 22nd.
One day before your birthday.
Yeah, that's one day before my birthday. So everyone show up and have some Prosecco ready, and we'll all toast on Zoom. We're going to do it at 7:30 Central Time. And I will try to put a Zoom link somewhere on our It's Always the Husband podcast group page.
And then I can maybe try to share it.
And then you can try to share. Yeah, I forgot that I said I was going to do it. So sorry that
That's okay.
I had a memory lapse, but then somewhere it came from a pocket. Like, oh, I said I was going to do it myself. Okay, so the 22nd at 7:30 Central. Who cares if you read the book? Just come and talk about it and toast to me for my birthday.
Right.
My 47th birthday.
Well, it's an old bitch.
RIP!
Foot in the grave.
All right. Bye.
Dracula's foot in the grave.
Bye.
Bye. All right, let's try to.
How long was that shit?
I'll try to stop this too before I say